On Global TV News Prime, Nimet warns of intense heat in Abuja, Gombe and others. In business, FG inaugurates subcommittee to assess impact of US tariffs on Nigerian economy. On the foreign scene, explosion in central Athens after anonymous tip-off. In sports, former Super Eagles coach Christian Chukwu dies at 74. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime and Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Godwin Sunday. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. To the news in details. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has warned of severe heat stress in Gombe State and 17 other northern states. The states are Adamawa, Taraba, Yobe, Bauchi, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, Niger, Kogi, Nasarawa, Benue, and the Federal Capital Territory. This is contained in its weather outlook release and made available in Gombe by the meteorological manager Gaius Musa for Gombe State. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has destroyed 1.6 million kilograms of assorted illicit drugs. The agency said this was the largest single volume of narcotics ever destroyed at once in the agency's history. The illicit substances destroyed included 123 kilograms of cocaine, 46.8 kilograms of heroin, 1.4 million kilograms of cannabis, 148,000 kilograms of codeine syrup, 3,244.2 kilograms of tramadol, 1,544 kilograms of squishes, and 111 kilograms of methamphetamine, among others. The United States Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has announced plans to cut 20% of its global workforce due to a $58 million funding shortfall, listing Nigeria among 10 countries to be affected. OCHA's chief, Tom Fletcher, revealed this in a note to staff after the United States, its largest donor, slashed its annual contribution of $63 million, which would have covered 20% of the agency's 2025 budget. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to boosting economic growth, job creation, regional integration through strategic partnership and infrastructure. Speaking through the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, at the official commissioning of the African Trade Center in Abuja, President Tinubu described the newly inaugurated facility as a vital step towards enhancing trade capacity and fostering unity across the continent. Kike Lomo Okere has the details.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by the Secretary at the official commissioning of the African Trade Center in Abuja, says the Africa Trade Center will play a pivotal role in unlocking new jobs opportunity, reducing unemployment and strengthening national by bridging regional divides and fostering collaboration across various sectors. According to him, the initiative will help in achieving Nigeria's long-term development goals and positioning the country as a major economic force within Africa and globally.
This attention which is individualized in the commissioning of this building is actually a realization of a bold vision for Africa's economic future. The AAT system is a testament to the power of collaboration, resilience, and forward-thinking leadership. It is more than a physical structure. It is a beginning of innovation, and power, and entrepreneurship, and catalyst for sustainable development.
One built on hope and determination. Like the other AATCs, the Abuja AATC will serve a multi-purpose goal. It will serve as a platform for fostering deeper regional and continental integration and has Afreximbank's permanent regional office.
The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, and the Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Uduwole, highlighted the current economic challenges facing the country, pointing out that Nigeria is grappling with the heightened financial risk and macroeconomic pressures. They further expressed confidence that the Africa Trade Center will serve as a hub for promoting intra-Africa trade, reducing reliance on import from outside the continent, and facilitating the seamless exchange of goods and services among African nations. The minister added that the AATC will attract both local and international investors, injecting much needed capital into the Nigerian economy, as well as creating a ripple effect that benefits other African economies.
A symbol of partnership, integration, and prosperity for the African continent.
This center is not just for Afreximbank or policymakers. It's for our youth, hungry for knowledge and innovation, our women-owned businesses building legacies with limited access, our MSMEs trying to move from survival to skill, our exporters daring to compete globally.
All officials reiterated the federal government's dedication to supporting initiatives that drives economic inclusion, improve livelihoods, and position Nigeria as a gateway for trade and innovation in Africa. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC, has launched a report with title From Ballot to Court, Analysis of Election Petition Litigation from 2023 General Election. The report is aimed at resolving issues on electoral crisis. Our correspondent was there and reports. The chairman Senate Committee on Independent National Electoral Commission, who was represented by the clerk of the Senate Committee on INEC, Fayam Philip, urged the political stakeholders to support the idea of settling all electoral rancor, dissatisfaction and grievance before fixing a day for swearing in. He explained that with the political issue being resolved before swearing in will help fixing the challenges in courts.
The Joint Committee on Electoral Matters has held several retreats across some geopolitical zones in Nigeria. And one of the major inputs received and discussed is that all election litigation should be concluded before the swearing in of any candidate. If this is adopted, the amended will resolve unnecessary court cases.
In his goodwill address, the chairman of INEC, Mahmoud Yakub, who was represented by Tanimu Inuwa, Director Litigations and Prosecutions, INEC, pledged the Commission's commitment in strengthening electioneering process in Nigeria.
Asked me to assure PLAC that the Commission is always ready to continue to partner with PLAC towards making our electoral administration seamless. The Commission also wants me to inform the public that it is doing everything possible to enhance the electoral integrity in Nigeria. Hence, the introduction of card reader machine, viewers, and it is currently understudying the performance of the viewers with a view to improving its performance come 2027.
The highlight of the event is the unveiling of the published report on election litigation, which ushered in a new narrative in electoral discussions. Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News. To celebrate the power of the press and the resilience of journalists, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, FCT Council, has announced a historic Guinness World Record attempt for the longest interview marathon. The event, tagged Nigerian Our Strength, will be held from April 17th to 20th, 2025. Sharon Ajay completes the story.
Speaking at a press conference ahead of the event, media advocate and event host Livinus Chibuike Victor emphasized the critical role journalists play in promoting transparency, challenging power, and giving a voice to the voiceless. He says the 72-hour interview marathon, which is part of this year's World Press Freedom Celebrations, aims to spotlight the enduring role of journalists in building democratic societies.
Professional journalism remains a vital defense against disinformation and manipulation. This press release underscores a call to protect press freedom, invest in quality journalism, stop the harassment of journalists, and recognize the indispensable role of journalists in fostering open societies.
Chairperson of the NUJFCT Council, Comrade Grace Ike, says the initiative will serve as a platform for introspection, growth, and advocacy for press freedom, as well as improved welfare for media professionals. She noted that the media landscape is evolving rapidly, and while technology opens new frontiers for storytelling and audience engagement, it also poses challenges such as misinformation and erosion of trust. Comrade Ike also stressed that press freedom is not a privilege but a pillar of democracy, adding that defending this freedom is the shared responsibility of journalists, policymakers, and the public.
Press freedom is not a privilege. It is a fundamental pillar of democracy, and protecting this freedom is our collective responsibility as journalists, policymakers, and citizens of the world. The media landscape is evolving, no doubt. Technology has opened new frontiers for storytelling, access to information, and engagement with audiences. Yet, it also presents challenges: the spread of misinformation, the weaponization of fake news, and the erosion of public trust in the media.
The upcoming record attempt will feature conversations with thought leaders, policy influencers, and the public on issues ranging from governance and human rights to climate change and education. The NUJFCT Council hopes it will catalyze stronger protections for journalists and a renewed commitment to ethical journalism. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
In a heartfelt gesture of support, the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Iman Sulaiman Ibrahim, presented a $1 million check and a fully furnished apartment for 2 years to a survivor of gender-based violence, GBV, and a mother, Rebecca Isang. The presentation took place at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja, where the minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to protecting survivors of abuse and restoring dignity to victims of gender-based violence. Our correspondent was there and reports. It was a moment filled with emotions and solidarity as the Ministry of Women Affairs extended financial support to a young girl whose life was altered by violence and trauma. The girl, whose identity is withheld for her protection, is a survivor of rape, and she is now living with HIV. In a symbolic act of compassion and responsibility, the Minister of Women Affairs presented a check to the girl's guardian. The funds are meant to assist her with a medical treatment, education, and overall rehabilitation.
Today, we mark the transition into a more stable phase of reintegration. The ministry has secured and furnished safe accommodation for the family for 2 years and is empowering the mother with a $1 million grant to start a business, supporting their journey. Supporting their journey towards self-reliance. The survivor has also been enrolled into school to continue her education upon resumption. Upon the resumption of the third-time academic session. We extend our deep appreciation to the Safe Haven Foundation for their unwavering partnership and to His Excellency, President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, whose renewed hope agenda continues to prioritize the protection and development of women, children, families, and vulnerable groups across the country.
The ministry also assured that the girl will receive free counseling, continuous medical attention, and education support. It is part of a broader commitment to protect and empower survivors of abuse across the country. While speaking to journalists, the girl's guardian spoke on the rape antecedent.
For 2 years, 2 years ago, I don't have money to pay for house because our father leave as a born baby girl. So I don't have money to pay for house. Then one woman directs me, take me to one elderly man. So then the man now help us for the house. So we are living there. We are staying there. I don't know when I went to work in the morning before 5, the man will enter and carry towel and cover her mouth and rape her. So the man give her HIV. Then when they do the test, the doctor do the test, but the man, they ask the man. The man said the sickness they in body for 26 years. And is that sickness he used to kill his wife. And he give many children, and 3 die after 3 months. So they put him inside, the children use money and bail him.
While the scars may take time to heal, today's gesture is a reminder that survivors are not forgotten and that every act of support brings them one step closer to reclaiming their future. Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention has listed 1,277 persons for follow-up over the possibility of being infected with Lassa fever. This follows the center recording 659 confirmed cases out of 3,779 suspected cases and 1,222 deaths in 13 weeks from January to March 30th, 2025. A report obtained from the NCDC indicated that no fewer than 18 states across the country have recorded Lassa fever cases, with Ondo, Bauchi, and Edo states being the most affected. The report shows that the contacts under follow-up number 1,277, while the contacts that have completed follow-up total 1,444. Operational directives and strategic vision of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, geared towards tackling violent crimes, dismantling criminal networks, and enhancing public safety across the country. The Nigerian Police Force says it has recorded significant breakthroughs in recent operations conducted in Kaduna State. Ogochukwu Mobono completes the story.
Force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumiyiwa Adejobi says, in a remarkable feat of interagency collaboration and strategic intelligence deployment, operatives of the Kaduna State Police Command's anti-kidnapping unit, in conjunction with the Office of the National Security Advisor, successfully rescued 17 victims who had been abducted on 3rd March 2025 from Serikin Power, Niger State. Adejobi noted that the operation was achieved through a non-kinetic approach, leveraging intelligence-led policing and interagency synergy to address security challenges.
In a remarkable feat of interagency collaboration and strategic intelligence deployment, operatives of the Kaduna State Police Command Anti-Kidnapping Unit, in conjunction with the Office of the National Security Advisor, successfully rescued 17 victims who had been abducted on 3rd March 2025 from Serikin Power in Niger State. This operation, notably achieved through a non-kinetic approach, evidences the commitment of the IGP to leveraging intelligence-led policing and interagency synergy to address security challenges.
Adejobi noted that all rescued individuals were promptly taken to the police clinic in Kaduna for medical examination and have been certified to be in stable and sound health. Adding that on the same day, 9th April 2025, operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit acting on credible intelligence intercepted a commercial Volkswagen Charan vehicle at the Kawa Central Motor Park in Kaduna. During preliminary interrogation, the suspect confessed that he was instructed by a union member to deliver the firearms to an unidentified individual in Kaduna. A full-scale investigation has been launched to dismantle the arms trafficking network and bring all perpetrators to book.
Upon thorough search, officers discovered 21 fabricated AK-47 rifles concealed in the vehicle. The suspect, identified as Jamiu Sulaiman, a 27-year-old male resident of Rafin Guza in Kaduna, was arrested and is currently in custody helping us carrying out our investigation.
During the exchange of gunfire, 2 of the robbers were neutralized, while others fled towards the nearby hills. 2 other injured suspects were apprehended and taken to the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Memorial Hospital, Sabon Wuse, for treatment. Unfortunately, one of them was later confirmed dead, while the other is alive and currently assisting the police with further investigation. The first public relations officer says efforts are ongoing to apprehend the fleeing members of the gang and bring them to justice.
Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, has called for the deeper unity and collaboration among custom administrations within the West and Central African region. He stressed that shared values and common goals must outweigh the differences that separate members' nations. Adeniyi made the appeal during the WCOWCA Donor Conference Cultural Night Out and Dinner at the Customs Headquarters in Abuja. Kike Lomo Okere has the details.
The event, which brought together delegates, donors, and stakeholders from across the region, was part of the ongoing effort to strengthen partnership under the auspices of the World Customs Organization's West and Central African Bloc. Speaking at the high-profile cultural gathering, the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, disclosed that the gathering was not just about cultural celebration, but a reinforcement of the spirit of integration that should characterize custom operations, security cooperation, and economic growth efforts in the region. He noted that customs service across the region have shared challenges and interdependent roles in the trade facilitation, anti-smuggling operations, and revenue generation, underscoring the necessity of mutual cooperations.
Our dance steps, most of the time, they represent the same thing in Africa that has high percussion and high rhythm. It's the same that you find in some other parts of our sub-region. Tells me it's very simple. Those things that unite us are more important than those things that separate us. It has therefore become very important, and it's an obligation for us to begin to dwell more on those things that brings us together. Is that we should develop a stronger spirit of cooperation, collaboration, and understanding.
The event also featured cultural displays, musical performance, and networking opportunities, all aimed at showcasing the rich heritage of participating nations while fostering stronger interpersonal and institutional ties. The cultural night was held on the sideline of the WCOWCA Donor Conference, which continues to highlight key areas of reform, modernization, and technical assistance in custom operations across the region. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The federal government has set up a subcommittee to thoroughly investigate and evaluate the potential economic impact of the recent tariff measures announced by the United States government, particularly considering indirect effects on Nigerian fiscal position and global oil market development. This was disclosed in a press statement signed by Mohammed Manga, the Director of Information and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Finance. According to the statement, the economic management team, chaired by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, convened an urgent meeting earlier this week with key ministries and agencies. Trump administration has announced a series of major exceptions to its punishing global tariffs, an apparent steps back in escalating trade war with China. A notice late Friday by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Office said smartphones, computer, and other electronics will be excluded with the import levy President Donald Trump rolled out a week ago. The move came as retaliatory Chinese import tariff of 125% on U.S. goods took effect Saturday, with Beijing standing defiant against its primary trade competitor. And on the foreign scene, there has been an explosion in central Athens near the office of the Greek railway company Hellenic Train. CCTV footage captured the moment that blast appeared to rip through a backpack reportedly left outside the office block. Police said anonymous calls were made to Greek media outlets warning of the attack, which happened close to one of the capital's busiest highways. No fatalities or injuries have been recorded so far in Greece. And now in sports. Former captain and head coach of the Super Eagles, Christian Chukwu, is dead. The former Enugu Rangers coach died at the age of 74 early hours on Saturday in his home state, Enugu. However, the exact circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear as of the time of filing in this report. His longtime teammate and friend, Dr. Olusegun Odegbami, confirmed the development in a post via his official X handle on Saturday. Now, just as we begin to wrap up the news at the moment, let's bring you back to some of our top stories at the moment. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has warned of severe heat stress in Gombe State and 17 other northern states. In business, the federal government has set up a subcommittee to thoroughly evaluate the potential economic impact of the recent tariff measures announced by the United States, and particularly considering the indirect effects on Nigeria's fiscal position and global oil market development. On the foreign scene, there has been an explosion in central Athens near the office of Greek railway company Hellenic Train. And in sport, former captain and head coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles, Christian Chukwu, is dead. And that's it on Global TV News Prime. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Godwin Sunday. Thank you for watching.